States.
I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
So when you stand and deliver that State of the Union address, in no part of your mind or brain can you imagine Donald Trump standing up one day and delivering a State of the Union address?
Well, I can imagine it in a Saturday night skit. I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president. Trump will not be president. I don't think he'll end up being president of the United States.
He will never be president of the United States.
And so, right now, Mr. Trump, to answer your call for political honesty, I just want to say, you're not going to be president, all right? But come on, buddy. All, let's say, cow poo-poo aside, there is zero chance we'll be seeing you being sworn in on the Capitol steps with your hand on a giant golden Bible.
I'll make a prediction, though, for you. And I don't really get into predictions much, but this one I'll go way out on a limb. Donald Trump will never, ever be president of the United States. That Trump should not be in this race. He's an absurdity. He is a travesty.
Donald Trump will never be elected president of the United States.
Donald Trump is a here today, gone tomorrow candidate for president of the United States. Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States. Ever respectful of the fact that the people have not voted, he's not going to be president of the United States.
Let's be clear. Donald Trump will lose the election.
I mean, he had a really good chance to be different and really have a chance to change things, but he doesn't do the work. He's lazy.
We talk about him every day, and we continuously bash him.
He's not going to be the president. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
This will be a wake-up call to the Republican Party. Despite Boris thinking that Donald Trump could win New York, like this, the presidential race is over.
Could I just cut through? I have one thing to say, one thing only, and that is that this race is over. Tomorrow morning, the money will dry up. The Republicans will start to hide. Trump has no place to go. This race, effectively, as of tonight, is no longer a presidential race.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
Donald Trump, just last week, he confirmed to the National Review that he is again considering a run in 2016.
Do it. Do it. Look at me. Do it. I will personally write you a campaign check now on behalf of this country, which does not want you to be president, but which badly wants you to run.
Well, I don't think it's likely that Donald Trump will be the nominee.
He is not going to be the nominee.
But he's not going to be the nominee, Chuck.
Donald Trump, who is not going to be the nominee.
Donald Trump is not going to be the Republican nominee.
Donald Trump is not getting to 1237.
He might get to 1,237. Realistically, I wouldn't bet $1 on it.
He might be leading the Republican ticket next. I know you don't believe that, but I want to go on.
And which Republican candidate has the best chance of winning the general election?
Of the declared ones right now, Donald Trump.
Let's start with Donald Trump, shall we?
Donald Trump is hitting the campaign trail.
But this time, Donald Trump actually made it official.
I am officially running.
Now the media has to decide whether to treat Trump as a legitimate contender or a wacky sideshow.
And people said from the beginning he's not really going to run. He's just doing this for publicity.
Oh, he's not really running. He's not actually filing.
Donald Trump is really just running for the attention. He's not really a serious candidate at all.
Look, the guy's a gifted politician, but he's not a serious candidate.
Do you believe that Trump is a serious candidate?
Why on earth would we be considering him as a serious presidential candidate?
It's fine. He's not going to win anything. It's fine.
But even after all this bluster and boorishness,
Donald, you're not going to be able to insult your way to the presidency.
He still leads the national legitimate polls.
Donald Trump is having his moment. Whether he has staying power is to be doubted.
Well, I think America's about done with him.
I think this is going to be the beginning of the end of Donald Trump.
The pundits say, forget about these numbers. We know what's going to happen, and Trump won't win.
Well, I don't think it's likely that Donald Trump will be the nominee.
I don't think he's going to be the Republican nominee or the president.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump.
That's not going to happen.
Donald Trump will not become president.
He's not going to be president. He is not, Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States. Take it to the bank. Okay. I guarantee it. All right, all right.
I think if he becomes the president, he'll make it great, because the States is already great.
I think that man will be president of the United States right about the time that spaceships come down filled with dinosaurs and red capes.
On that note, Tom,
take it from me. How about that?
Yes, Tom.
Will he win the general election?
I don't believe so, no.
I don't think there's any way that Donald Trump gets elected president of the United States.
Tomorrow night, I think when Hillary Clinton wins, that Donald Trump will have lost this election from the very first day he announced.
Donald Trump will have been kept from the White House by a big, beautiful brown wall.
Clinton has 274 in the lean Republican or solid Republican, so something has to flip.
Kentucky, where Fox News can project that Donald Trump will prevail, picking up 8 electoral votes. Trump will also win Indiana.
If he could get a North Carolina, that would be huge.
Donald Trump has won the state of North Carolina.
Donald Trump will carry the state of North Carolina.
But if he loses Florida, it's over.
Donald Trump will win the state of Florida.
Donald Trump will carry the state of Florida. Donald Trump will take Ohio.
He has won Florida, North Carolina, and Ohio. Hillary Clinton's lead over Donald Trump has dwindled. Iowa will go to Donald Trump.
He would have to pick off either Pennsylvania or Michigan or Wisconsin.
Pennsylvania has just been called for Donald Trump.
Something has to flip.
Donald Trump has won the state of Wisconsin.
Long faces at this viewing party here.
Pennsylvania, this really just wiped away Clinton's chances of reaching the White House.
We have a major projection right now. Donald Trump will take Ohio. And CNN projects Donald Trump will carry the state of Florida. Huge win for Donald Trump. Donald Trump, we project, will win in Kentucky, in Indiana, with its 11 electoral votes. West Virginia, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Mississippi, South Carolina, Alabama, North Dakota, with its 3 electoral votes, and South Dakota, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, the state of Montana, North Carolina, Georgia, Iowa, Utah, Wisconsin, Arizona, Kansas with its 6 electoral votes, Nebraska with its 5 electoral votes, and Wyoming with its 3 electoral votes.
The crowd has been waiting for the last 45 minutes for that call.
Wolf, the scene here is so different than it was a few hours ago.
Hillary Clinton conceded on the phone.
Donald Trump, elected president of the United States.
Sorry to keep you waiting, complicated business.
Look, it's critical for him to be there right now. I can't say that enough. It is critical that he show his support for the state, for the victims there. Don't forget, in Katrina, all the criticism that President Bush suffered because he was late to take action, and he was late to be there with resources. And I can remember I spent a lot of time there covering the aftermath of Katrina, and there would be trailers lined up for miles, and they couldn't get the trailers because FEMA was so disorganized to the people that desperately needed them. This is going to be a real test for him to show the country how he's organized and how he can make sure that the resources get to those that need them. It's going to be a very difficult process, but this is his background. He's got a business background. He's a builder. They're going to need so much help.
And also just emotional support, Harris, right? I mean, I saw this when my dad was governor of Utah, the coordination that you have between the local officials and the president of the United States. And as you said, Ben Carson, who's head of HUD, not just to coordinate
together. He's critical because he's got to oversee some of the funding allocation in terms of giving help. I mean, that's because so much of what we will see will be those structures that are government structures to house people. We didn't go back and do a lot of that reporting after Katrina 2 and 3 years later when those people were still post-shelter living in government housing. That's a difficult spot to be in.
I agree,
but we saw it with Sandy.
Well, I still believe, look, we're talking about checklist 101. What the president's going to do is in the FEMA guidelines, and congratulations to him for doing all the pomp and circumstances, and Trish, to your point, making sure that everybody feels comfortable. But let's face it, that jet landing isn't going to take anybody out of the misery that they're suffering right now. There are people leaving behind memorabilia and things that they're never going to get back. Their lives are completely ripped apart, and it's the people on the ground that are bringing these dinghies in and going to get these people, and we'll continue to do that.
You know what's been interesting, too, is to watch private business, Trish, and their contributions. Bass Pro Shops just donating a bunch of boats to the rescue efforts there. It's also been interesting to see how private business is stepping in as well.